You've lost a game that was so close like that. It's very difficult to just forget about it and move on.
Yeah, I kind of got taken over by the observing there.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know really what was going on. It felt like maybe he was just trying to avoid all the walls, and it was like I was watching a skating game or something, so I phased out. But probably what you said, I agree. I'll roll with that. Let's go for it.
Great. Excellent stuff. Fantastic analysis from Jackie once more. But it looks like I think the players are just about ready to get started on this one, and the match is going to begin here. And here we go. Team Viral going to be starting on this CT side and FM Esports on that T side. And I'm curious to see how this one is going to kick off. What FM decide to do starting things here. Whether they, go for a more aggressive approach, or whether they, typically on Mirage here in the UK scene, we see a very defensive approach to the map, setting up kind of halfway across the map and looking for picks. And that's a similar strategy to most of the maps, to be honest. But I wonder if we see something kind of crazy coming out to start things off. HoodsG pushing very aggressively onto Dream, but he is going to be able to get away with his life and head over towards jungle. Yeah,
it was an interesting position as well. You try and go for the jump there. As you drop down, you want to try and get that initial frag with the USP. Didn't work out, but he's still got the opener anyway. Takes down Huds. PT will respond as he fires back with that Glock. Leaves them in a 4 versus 4 situation. A-site completely compromised though. They're actually in good afterplant situations. The only thing that's bad, Jacob's position. This is great for Viral. He can go for a little late round backstab, really put a seed of doubt into the minds of FM and make their life so much harder. It's a great plant though. Plant for short like that, it means that it's really awkward for Viral for actually find themselves in a good position to pick up the round.
Absolutely, and now the defuse already going to be coming on through. 2 seconds left. And
or not.
They are just going to be able to get away with that one. I feel like Neilzinho maybe thought that that was a fake and wasn't going to go for the check there, but Team Viral just swarm the site, waltz on in, don't even bother to kill the rest of the terrorists, just defuse the bomb and defuse the situation. But it does mean that they are off to a flying start, and they've got a couple of FAMASs and 3 SMGs to work with moving into the second round. FM Esports, I mean, they've got to be kind of with their heads in their hands in this situation. Hood,
sure.
What are you doing, mate? That was just disgusting.
God,
I've just lost track of what I was even saying. That was just ridiculous.
It's just owned it there. Absolutely great frag to kick off the round. I mean, that is a huge frag. Jacob going to be forced to fall back as well, back on towards the A bomb site. Aussie still spotting out towards mid. Is aware that they've actually backed off a lot of this as well. You can see it most likely is going to be this late round B play as they group up. Hud's just going to create that confusion towards the A bomb site, try and run out, find a frag if possible. If not, just draw or rotate off from the B bomb site, make their lives a little bit easier.
4 versus 5 here. Jacob in a fight with HoodsG is finally going to take down that machine of a man. He nearly lost his life to him too, actually. 37 HP remaining. Now with that MP7 going to be pushing over towards ramp, but he's not going to find anyone over there because it's over towards this B site that the action will be kicking off. Boaster's managed to find himself with a FAMAS in hand. And this could be a massive swing in terms of the round, but Wild Child, he's changed his name now. He's going to be able to find one for himself with that FAMAS. What's he called now? Prelidin. And he's going to be able to get one, but gets shut down by Neilzinho. And now 2 versus 1 Roma with the UMP. And to be honest, I feel like this round has not gone even close to the way it should have gone, considering Viral's first round win.
Yeah, it's interesting obviously as well. Roma left in the 1 versus 2 here as he slowly tiptoes out towards the site. Actually finds a frag on towards Neilzinho. It's just left on PT. Got the bomb planted with about 8 seconds left. As he just holds off. Looks like he's just going to play from sandwich here. It's going to be a little bit awkward. He's kind of trapped now. As he will find that frag though, most likely. Roma obviously going upstairs. It gives him such a great advantage over the top of that. Lucky just with the positioning off the back of that, but an awkward round really going in the way of FM. And due to the amount of frags that he picked up there, he is going to have a ridiculous amount of cash in his bank.
Yeah, he certainly is. And now we're going to see a similar buy to what we saw last round out of Viral in the hands of FM. And you know, I would usually say that that should mean that FM have a huge advantage in this round, but, you know, last round didn't exactly pan out that way, so I don't even know what to think in this matchup now. Roma looking for a jump scout here. I'll be impressed if he can find one of those shots, but often just using that to try and get some information as well as Boaster. Already pushing onto this site very aggressively, nearly gets away with it, but does get shut down in the end. Neilzinho does find one. But it's 3 players left for FM. And in fact, to make that 3 versus 3, Dream down to just 1 HP with that Desert Eagle. CZ and a MAC-10 on the rest of his teammates, but I don't think that weaponry is going to be quite enough against the AKs and the FAMAS that are in these FM esports players' hands. And that is going to be 1 kill coming out with that CZ. He's looking for a rifle. He's going to find a MAC-10. Better than nothing, but not the ideal scenario, and is going to get shut down in the end by Hoods G. It's going to be another round going the way of FM esports.
Yeah. They picked that one up fairly quickly, which looks a whole lot better as well. Viral, still not going to have money to play with yet, as FM have all the lights shone on them, and they're looking good in the spotlight right now.
I think we're both looking good in the spotlight right now.
Yes, lights.
Looking warm is how I would word that, I think.
Warm in the spotlights, much like FM esports. All right then.
Hint. Well, there we go. It's already underway here as Jacob and Team Viral are going to be able to get a couple of kills. It's traded back and forth, and Aussie suddenly the last man remaining. I feel like that was a lot messier than it should have been from FM, but they should be able to finish off this round in the end. They haven't actually got the bomb down, and Aussie is hiding in a sneaky little spot there, and Pulse is going to get finished off. Hoods G, he has to find these shots, but he's up against a Galil, and Aussie pulls it out. What a clutch little play coming out from him. Evens things up, 2-2 now on the board.
Man, that was a sick round, actually, down to the wire, though. This is really awesome. Both of these teams as well, this is cool, right? Because it's kind of that factor. Their map pools seem to interlock with each other quite a lot, especially on Mirage here as well. It's reminiscent. It can be played in kind of similar ways. The 2 mid control is ridiculously important on this map as well. You need to try and lock it down. But in the style they've been playing, those attacks towards the A bomb site are so diverse time and time again. It hasn't really even been overly structured off the back of utility. It's just bombing, like, individual frags that have been coming out. They do go for that mid control this time around, though. There isn't an open play in either side. We're not even seeing one come out on Pulse right now to try and get those initial frags, obviously due to cash restraints. But Jacob sneaking up through mid. If he finds these opening frags, this would be huge. But Hudge G comes in with one towards Dream. Jacob goes down. So does Aussie, following suit with the rest of his teammates. This is horrific for Viral right now. Left with just Roma and Predlin up against all 5 of the players on the FM esports side. This is going to be a difficult task to do anything. Most likely just going to go for the save here, as A site will be compromised. They'll get that bomb planted.
Yeah, and, you know, 5 AKs still in the hands of FM. They've got to try and do some economic damage, and they are going to be able to find Boaster, so at least it's something. And, in fact, 2 kills do go their way, so a much better situation than what we were looking at 10 seconds ago. But Roma, he's going to be looking for more. He wants this 1 versus 3. He knows where Hoods G is, but actually turns around, doesn't quite finish off Pulse, but Hoods G gets his head taken clean off as he peeks on out. Pulse going to be hiding behind that box as Roma pushing onto this site. He's found himself in a good spot. Pulse will shut him down in the end. And FM esports, only 2 players remaining at the end, but they are going to be able to snag that round for themselves. And a force buy, if anything, is all that's available for Team Viral. Maybe upgrade some pistols, but realistically, there's not going to be a whole lot to shout about.
Yeah, just left with those measly pistols there over on that side. I mean, it's going to be awkward for them in what they can actually try and achieve here, especially off the back of the range advantage that FM have. With this mid control they've been using to their advantage now, working their way down, you can find those opening frags, tiptoe your way through. It's so key to lock down mid early on a map like Mirage. If you're able to overthrow that CT side, get dominance on mid, you just have so many more positions that you can try and go for your attacks. Really just opens up a whole new element to the map. But it doesn't work out if Dream's allowed to just get that initial frag on towards Boaster, as he just peeks out through connector and takes another CZ from range nonetheless as well, which is just ridiculous. We see Pulse also trying to make his play towards the B bomb site now, left on his lonesome. He just wants to try and catch a player off guard if they go for the aggression to try and peek behind, possibly trying to get towards me and get that information with the rotate off B. No one's going to be going for that, but if they don't clear that angle with Roma as well, Aussie just trying to bait them in. If they go for the B play here, this is going to be ridiculous. You will see Jacob coming in with a flank from behind. They're basically pinned in right now, and they're not even aware to it.
Yeah, and now Pulse is kind of in this awkward situation where he knows that they need to pull over, they need to advance, they need to keep moving. He knows, obviously they're going to be aware that a rotation is very likely at this stage, and they're just trying to think, how do we go about this one? But Jacob coming in from behind, he's going to find Nilzinho, and in fact there is going to be an absolute meat grinder going on as these players try and push in. Nilzinho does turn around and find one though, but there's still 3 CTs on the site. Hoods G has managed to make it down in, but he's going to get shut down by Aussie, and suddenly Nilzinho is the last man remaining. Finds one though, he's got an AK, and it's not going to be enough because the Deagle coming out from Prelidden is going to be enough to finish that player off. And again, we're seeing this match between these 2 teams absolutely neck and neck.
You don't totally have to make a you are not prepared joke for Paladin, right? 'Cause it's kind of like Illidan. World of Warcraft banner.
You should have actually made a joke instead of just saying we should have made a joke.
Yeah, I could have, but his name also isn't Illidan, so I don't know if you get it. And I thought you'd shun me.
I would have got it, mate.
Nice.
I'm the biggest WoW nerd. You're
Warcraft bros, we got this. Jacob, P90 in hand, as he waits right now, just playing over by balcony, seeing if anyone is going to push in towards the site, but no one is actually going to be tiptoeing their way in just yet. We have HUDs as well towards mid, just scouting it out, having a little bit of a sniff around, seeing if he can spot anyone in hiding. Boaster most likely will be the first person to speak in this situation. Burst out, needs to try and overwhelm Jacob though, and then the rest of them will follow suit. Jacob down the ladder actually, as he tries to go for the frag, spamming over the P90, very easy weapon to use, you just hold down mouse 1, and frags come your way. But meanwhile, Dream and Aussie will find the other frags, and that's going to be a quick round out of the way. But FM, as well, still a little bit restricted in terms of cash. They can't actually go for the buy here.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, there is some kind of argument to say maybe go for some kind of force just to keep the game even, but it's such a huge risk. Like, if you lose that round at that point, you really just put your economy in the bin. And Neilzinho just gets destroyed to start this round off. I guess he wasn't prepared, but it's going to be a sorry-looking round for FM Esports, and Team Viral should be just looking, honestly, to make this round as clean as they possibly can at this stage.
Everyone just getting obliterated right now towards mid. Aussie just with the taps, just single fire as he takes him down. Dream with the final shot off on towards Hudge G as well. Well, Viral looking good.
I said they need to make it as clean as a round as they can. Only taking 80 damage across the whole team. I'd say that's pretty clean. Good job, boys. Team Viral taking the advantage now. 5-3. They're the first one to actually kind of make any kind of leeway in this game and get some kind of lead for themselves. But FM Esports got some rifles to work with and a good amount of utility as well. But we'll see if they're going to be able to actually turn it into a round. They've been struggling these last couple. And Team Viral, their shots seem to be on point. They seem to be well and truly warmed up here as we're on to Mirage. And let's remember, Team Viral, this is their map pick as well. So you should be expecting that Viral would be the ones with the advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, Viral in this situation definitely should be the favoured team, but it's looking like FM. They've been given so much breathing room into this round, they've actually tiptoed down. They've got that mid control. Aussie isn't playing from mid window, just playing here over by Whorehouse, so he can just pop around the corner. They will be able to just slip their way through, actually get through connector. It just depends if Dream can catch them off guard or if they can slip in undetected. If they get through, it's going to be ridiculously hard. Hudge will actually catch out Aussie there, so he's aware of their position now, and they're just holding their ground. They need Viral to make the first mistake before they go for anything.
That was going to be Dream trying to make a bit of a play there, just kind of banking on the fact that someone was pushing out. He's not going to get it, and Dream does in fact go down. It's 2 for 2 though. A couple more CTs are going to drop. Roma and Aussie, the last two remaining, and it looks like the A site is well and truly in control of FM Esports. And we were talking about how Viral were finally starting to get a bit of a lead for themselves. FM are not looking to let that scenario last very long. Hoods is waiting in the corner, and Aussie will get shut down. Roma suddenly finds himself alone, and PT is just laying in wait, finds the headshot, and finds another round for FM Esports. 5-4 is the score. And it is as even as it gets, basically, between these two teams. Another buy available for Viral, but FM, they've still got rifles to work with.
Pause coming out as well. Ooh, it's the FM pause. Is this going to be a tactical or technical pause, Joe? That's always the question.
To be honest, it's unlikely that we ever find out.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out to Matt.
But I would think, I'm going to say that this is a
nice.
pause.
Look at this. No, actually, I think it might actually be a tactical pause. Look at them all looking at each other. Oh, man. This is beautiful.
The huddle going on between these team members right now. This is legit UK scene tactical pause going on right now. Discussing where they want to go with this map right now, because what have we got?
Rush B. Old school.
It could be. That is the direction
it could be.
to be. Yeah.
Banter.
Got him.
All the old school, obviously, United Stone from last season when they were 13-2 down, and Fett said, "What do we do?" And Joe went, "Let's just win." And they came back to win the whole game.
I mean, it's a pretty solid strategy.
That was a good tactic as well.
It's not a bad strategy at all. And to be honest, we've seen it work in the past in the Premiership. And we'll see whether that's going to be the strategy that FM employ. But, you know, I would love to see the Rush B come on through. They are heading in the right direction. I don't think it's very likely that that's the strategy that
Back
they
to the mid control,
bring on. They are, in fact, going to, as you say, take control of mid. And to be honest, it's been doing fairly well for them so far in this game. They are still a round down. They are up against an AWP, so they need to be a little bit careful. They can't do anything too crazy, and Roma are actually going to punish Neilzinho over in apps for being too far aggressive, but Pulse is going to shut down Roma as well, so evenly traded in the end. And that sucks for Viral. That's the worst situation where you find the first pick, you think you've got away with it, and then you get shut down. Now PT is going to trade it onto Jacob, and that suddenly means that FM have the advantage despite Viral getting that first kill.
Yeah, this is good as well, especially plays into their hands with the position they want to try and take towards that B bomb site. Aussie has to go massive. It all rides on Aussie to actually find at least another frag here to buy them time to rotate over. They do arrive on the scene, but they're getting punished. Pulse comes in with the AK-47. Oh! I thought that was Pulse that actually got the frag on towards Aussie there, but it was HUDs from the sidelines. I thought it was Pulse just going crazy once again, but both with the final shot on towards Predalin. They take them down. FM looking dominant into that one towards B bomb site though.
I've got to say, when you were like, it's all on Aussie right now.
Yeah.
I could have believed that he could pull that off. He went absolutely sick on that first map. He was at the top of the scoreboard the entire time for Team Viral. But unfortunately not able to make it happen on this one. And a force buy coming on through here for Team Viral. They do not want to let FM get away with any kind of score lead right now. And they have basically no utility to work with. Just flashbangs and a single smoke. Deagle in the hands of Preladin. Fairly decent buy for FM Esports. They do have the Tech 9 for Neil, but other than that, they're pretty comfortable. They've got armor, they've got grenades. So this should, in theory, be a fairly comfortable round for them. But Neilzinho, the only one without a rifle, is going to open things up with that Tech 9.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nils being able to find that frag there as well. But look at this, the flank coming in from behind Predalin as he rotates round, takes down Nils very easily. Pulse is there with the AWP in hand, not going to work out too great in close quarter combat. Does land the tag, switches out to the block as well to actually find the frag. Dream is close by, but is now aware of Pulse's position and knows what weapon he has. This is an awkward round here, Joe, into this 3 versus 3. Doesn't quite get it. Pulse landed the tag, but couldn't quite convert into the frag just yet. Dream left on 10 HP. What a crazy round so far.
That sucks for Pulse. 2 tags in a single round when you're open. Brutal situation, but here we go. As Aussie actually just pushes straight past both terrorist players. Boaster finds himself just in the middle of the site here on Sandwich. Does find one for himself, and he's somehow snuck past the CTs, and I don't think he even meant to in that situation. Everybody just spinning around with their pants down at this point. But Boaster, he's found himself on the A site. He's going to say thank you very much, and he should be able to get that bomb down. And in fact, these 2 CT players, Roma and Aussie, going to be pushing on. Both of them coming from connector, from those stairs. Are they going to be able to land their shots? That's going to be the question.
Oh, unfortunate for Boaster there. Aussie was switched on to his positioning, was able to find the frag. The defuse is going to come in. Aussie as well going to try and grab that AWP that was left behind on the corpse of Pulse. That's going to be them finally taking the lead once again. 6-5 now will be the scoreline.
Yeah, it certainly will. And that AWP going on through in the hands of Team Viral could be absolutely crucial in this game. You know, if you can just land a couple of nice shots with that weapon, it can be what tips the balance, to be honest, in Counter-Strike a lot of the time. Boaster with so much money to work with, he's going to be able to buy a couple of weapons for his teammates. Neilzinho does have a rifle as well. I was going to say walk in with just the pistol again there, but had been thrown one in the end. And a very convincing buy here for FM, but a similar buy in the hands of Viral as well. So it's all just going to be down to who can land the shots better, who's going to be able to be getting these first picks.
This is some awesome CS so far into this series. It's been great to watch. Slow stuff though into this round. As neither team wants to make that first mistake. The peek comes out. Dream should have been able to find it, but gets his head knocked off by Boaster. Pulse will get traded out as well by Aussie though. Into a 4-on-4 very quickly, and Boaster basically as good as dead. Look at him left on 10 HP there as he scurries away to grab that bomb and regroup with the rest of his teammates. But it's going to be hard. A minute left on the clock. Most likely going to go for the A pincer play with 2 of those players working their way through connector as they try and slip onto the site. But look at the positioning of Jacob. He can just wait out here, play off the back of audio cues. Here's the pitter-patter of the footsteps of Boaster. A single bullet is all he needs. Will find it, takes him down, and can then regroup with the rest of his teammates. This is looking good for Viral.
It certainly is. 3 versus 4. FM on the back foot right now, but Hoods has that AWP in hand, and we saw him do ridiculous things on the first map with that weapon. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case as Neilzinho goes down. Preledon finding that shot. Big green gun, and Hoods finds a close-range quickscope onto Aussie, and it doesn't quite even things up. Viral still with the advantage, but FM, they're looking to make their mark on this round, if not take it with the way Hoods is playing. They're pushing onto the side, but Jacob is there to shut things down, and he will do exactly that. Takes both of the players out, grabs himself an AK, and grabs Team Viral a 2-round advantage in this first half. Just 3 rounds left of the half, and Viral, they're looking to make sure that it's in their favour.
Man, this is looking really good for Viral right now. Definitely, you know, this is their map pick as well, so you expect them to be dominant. And they're looking good in their CT half. FM into this one. They don't have a lot to play with, only those measly pistols. They're going to try and go for the aggressive play, the all-out push towards the B-bomb site. Can they find the openers? The Deagle in the hands of quite a few players. Essentially a deco actually coming out here. Hoods will claim one, takes down Dream, but the rest of his teammates get punished. Left onto a 3 versus 4 very quickly into the round.
Certainly are. A bit more spray coming out of Roma, but he's not going to be able to find any more targets. It is going to be Jacob on the back end of the corridor. Neilzinho, I'm not sure what on earth just happened there. Neilzinho just finding a ridiculous headshot with that SMG and finishes off his opponent. But that is now an AK in the hands of FM Esports. They can do a lot of damage with that as PT grabs that one. Stolen from Jacob's body, but Aussie, he's not messing around. He's going to finish off both of those players with ease, and Viral, they grab themselves another round. They're heading towards this second half looking very convincing. They already have the advantage now, and they're just looking for bonus points.
And the buys will be coming out once again. Obviously, they don't have the cash to actually get that AWP out over on towards Pulse. We haven't seen too much of the AWP on this map. It's not as necessary unless you're trying to go for that early mid control. You can also utilize it towards apps. Unfortunately for Pulse as well, he just gets obliterated. Goes for the early peek towards mid. Jacob just with a spam through connector up towards top mid. Takes him down for a smoke as well. So FM, a round they needed to try and pick up, get themselves a little bit more breathing room as they go into the second half. Already looking quite shaky, but they batter their way out now, bursting out towards the site, very flamboyant as they try and put their way down. BT will come in with a frag on towards Bredlin. Boaster with one as well. Unfortunately, he has been since picked off a 3 versus 3 as they try and scurry their way in.
Yeah, absolutely. PT finding Dream while he had a grenade in his hands. That's going to be a headshot going his way. 2 CTs remaining. Viral, I said they've got the advantage and they're looking to keep it as they head back onto the site, but the bomb is already down and they're slowly but surely running out of time. If they want to make something happen, it's now or never, but both of them tagged incredibly low. Aussie down to just 8 HP as he's flashed into the corner. Nobody can capitalize, but he finally goes down. Roma now in a 1 versus 3, and this is looking like an impossible task as he is going to decide to back away in the end. He wants to hold on to that weaponry and just make it on into this next round.
Roma, he's going to get away with it, Joe, but even then, 6 rounds now secured for FM. It's better than what we sort of seemed like it was going to go to, especially even going to that round with that initial frag coming out. If they get 7 rounds on the board here, which is still going to be hard, as they can afford to actually get a fairly full buyout on the side of Team Viral if they scurry weapons around, which they're going to go for, obviously, is the final round. It depends how well FM can play in their CT half. Because what worries me is Viral looking fairly dominant early on in CT. They've still got the aim advantage though, which complements you so much more when you're playing on that T half. If they play in a very explosive T half, FM could just be left in the dust.
Absolutely. But on the other side of that, you know, on that first map on Dust 2, we saw that FM's CT side was far superior than their T side. Maybe this is just a particularly defensive lineup. Aussie absolutely caught with his pants down in mid there, not even looking in the right direction, and does get shut down by Boaster. This is looking like maybe FM will be able to take a 7th round in this half and kind of even things up a bit. Neilzinho finding one for himself as well, and suddenly looks like that might be the case. This has been such an incredibly close series between these two teams, and you know, I'm starting to think this is maybe going to go to 3 games at this rate, because unless FM pulls something miraculously out on that CT side, with it being Viral's pick, I feel like I have to give them an advantage going into the second half, and they've got that extra round as well. But another trade going across in that middle of the map. Dream and Roman out, the last 2 remaining CT players. the bomb going to be heading over towards this A side. They've still got 40 seconds to use here, and they should be able to get this bomb down and the kill onto Dream.
There is always potential though, Joe. We're just going to have to wait and see. Obviously, these two players left standing, Dream and Roma. Been together for a while. In terms of quite a few teams, we know how much damage they can bring to the table. Let's see if they can find the frags, though. The first one comes in, rains down Supreme as he takes down Nilzinho. Pulse fires back, though, with the AWP. Finally has that weapon in his hands. Is it a little bit too late, though? Roma, 1 versus 3 to try and secure the round, to try and get 9 rounds on the board for Viral. It would sound better than the 8-7, but it's going to be a hard task for him as he slowly tiptoes round, trying to clear all these angles, wants to work out where they'll be, just in case that was going to be a short plant. Anyone lurking towards mid as he tiptoes out on towards the bomb site. It needs to be now or never, though. Time ticking away, gets the first frag on towards Hudge G, but it won't be enough. Boaster fires back, and that is going to be that half done and dusted.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's going to go the way of FM Esports that final round, but it means that Team Viral, you know, they've got the advantage moving into this second half, but it is a mere 1 round advantage, a sliver of an advantage. And now, the start of the second half is going to be absolutely crucial for both of these teams. And I feel like FM Esports, especially being the team that's going to be going on to the more expensive CT side, this pistol is going to be crucial for them. But, you know, a lot of the time, I feel like on this map specifically, the CT, like, just having those USPs can be so beneficial, because a lot of the fights that you take on Mirage are very, very long range.
Yeah, it's a lot of aim battles, especially from like ridiculous distances on this map. Even if you go for more aggressive sort of faces, you're still complemented by having that range. So you are right in terms of that. And the players on that side of FM as well, we know how like crisp they can be when they have those USPs in their hands. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see who actually finds these frags, who takes this. But obviously, if FM are able to link this one up, actually get this first pistol round, they'll be in a good spot. Viral, on the other hand, if they're able to keep this going, FM obviously going to be 4 rounds behind at the end of the pistol if they claim all 3 rounds. It's going to be a horrific spot to try and claw their way out of.
Well, here we go. The second half is underway. I do just want to quickly shout out, we mentioned Aussie, Boaster, just super aggressive there on the defense, pushing down ramp. He's going to be able to get a kill for it as well. Niels so close to going down, but Jacob can't quite connect the shots. I was going to say Aussie, he's topping the scoreboard right now, 19 kills, and he has been an absolute inspirational player for Team Viral so far, but it's 4 versus 4 now. And Viral pretty much have control of this A site, to be honest, because, you know, we saw this aggressive push from PT and Boaster, but they've kind of gone too far, and now they've found themselves trapped at ramp.
I think they were trying to go for the loop back round where you go through B, through Whorehouse, and you go for the boost. But they didn't do the boost correctly. Now they've kind of just wasted a load of time and just got stuck there. Boaster comes in with a frag as well as they take down Jacob, so it's just really awkward into this round. Huds as well, this is a great position. Fortunately, he isn't able to land the shots. Does give away his position a little bit, but also obviously plants that seed of doubt in their mind. And they can't rotate off through T-spawn here, but they need to get these frags. They have no position to plant the bomb safely whilst both of these players are here, but they do clear it up. Dream and Aussie coming with the frags. There's Huds returning to form though as he gets that initial shot. A nice one tap off on towards Dream. 2 versus 2. Pulse is so very low, but he still does the damage. Takes down Aussie. Predalin trapped all on his lonesome here. Can Huds find the frag? 20 seconds left on the board. He's going to need to grab that bomb and do whatever he can. Huds going for the wide peak. Wants to try and take the aim battle here, but he finds the frag as well. Takes him down. And FM pick up the pistol round.
And they also even the scoreline. Hoods pulling that round out of somewhere that I probably shouldn't say on stream right there, because, you know, multiple just taking aim battles. And, you know, he saw that the fight was going on ramp, immediately gets to that position where he can just watch from CT and just pick one of those low HP targets off immediately and finds himself in a fantastic position. Pressures a player out so that Pulse can finish him off, gets him into a really bad position. And oh my god, what a way to start the round. 3 kills immediately going away. And Viral, so low. All the members just about below half HP. And there's rifles, there's Mag 7s in the hands of FM. They're looking fantastic in this round. If Nilzinho can land the shots, he's going to find one. Looking for a second one as well. Can't actually land it though, and will get shut down.
Yeah, it's a good retake coming out though as they eventually find these frags. All the weapons that are going to be that bonus cash used mostly, apart from Pulse obviously with the FAMAS. But even then, Viral, they force out free rebuys on the side of FM. Also, you get the bomb down. That's a really good spot to be in. Overall, the cash is going to be improved greatly when they actually go into that buy if they want to. So, not a bad round at all on the back of the eco.
No, absolutely not. And You know, when rounds are that close and just that much of a mess, I want to say, it was just absolute chaos on the A site there. Basically, never do you see teams come out of it well. Either side, whoever wins, it's still going to be down to 1 or 2 players remaining when it's that much of just a slugfest between the two teams. Both are actually going with a Nova here.
Pop.
I'm interested to see what he can pull off with this one. Now, one of the more long-range shotguns, I like to say, but PT opening things off right. Boaster finds 2 for himself, and, well, what a way to shut down Team Viral right there. They're going to be very happy with that one. Viral should be able to go for a force buy in this round, though. Or in fact, probably a full buy.
Yeah, obviously that's where they went for the save as well. They got the extra cash off the back of getting that bomb planted. So, money's looking good. Going into this one, they need to try and start to come back now, though, because FM on a bit of a roll. They have invested greatly. They've upgraded a lot of those weapons, apart from HUDs. HUDs G is going to hold on to that MP7. Use lines in close range, though, can still be devastating. Unfortunately, for the side of FM, 2 of their players get picked off. They got the initial trade, but it went straight back into the advantage of Vile. This rides on HUDs G. That weapon will be dominating in close range combat, but not if there's 2 players in front of you. So Predolin is able to take him apart. Pulse here, watching towards Balcony with a 6-shot, comes out, flicks over on towards Predolin as well. Looking good right now. Has to wait for the rest of the push. Unfortunately, blindsided and battered by Dream. Nilzinho left in a 1 versus 2. That bomb is going to get planted. The last bit of his utility. The flashbang goes out. Will blind Dream. Is able to spot him out off the back of the arm there on the animation as he starts to tiptoe his way on towards the site. Needs to get the frag on Ozzy, but it won't quite work out. Dinks him, but couldn't convert it just yet, and Viral bounced back.
Yeah, unfortunate situation there. It was such a beautiful moment from Pulse where he got those first 2 kills. He managed to even it up, but Nilzinho wasn't there yet. He was still on the rotation. He was over towards mid-side of connector, and he just couldn't get there to support his teammate in time, and it meant that he ended up in the 2 versus 1. And with an M4 as well against full HP opponents, it's always going to be difficult to take that situation because you've got to get multiple shots on them. That single headshot will not finish the kill. Here we go, Husji with a very aggressive position is going to be able to punish 1, but immediately 2 players drop. Pulse answers though, and suddenly 3 versus 3 in the blink of an eye. Immediately, after all of that action right at the start of the round, everything immediately stops. They hit the pause button and back away, but Pulse just, with a ridiculous peek, finds Preliden on ramp there. And suddenly 2 terrorists remain. FM with a round advantage already. They're looking to turn it into a 2-round lead.
Yeah, this round's been very fast. Just beautiful stuff to watch, but it slows down a little bit now. A moment of silence, everyone just slowly tiptoes their way towards that B-bomb site, trying to find their way in. PT has the Molotov, which will transfer a little bit of damage and cause them to initiate a lot quicker than they initially wanted to. Finds the opening frag on towards Jacob. Pulse is on the scene of the crime as well. AWP in hand. Mobs just go for the pistol, just spamming away through the smoke. Gets a massive tag off, but can't quite find the frag just yet. Roma left on 9 HP. Has to get a 2k if he wants to try and win the round and equalise at 10-10 for Viral. Pulse just going for these little peaks, slowly but surely trying to find that frag. It's only a matter of time before he's able to tap him down. If he can land one single shot into the body of Roma, will do so and gets the defuse as well. FM Esports, 11 rounds on the board now.
Yeah, and that is going to be fantastic news for FM. They're kind of getting that second wind again. We saw this last game where FM were able to, you know, towards the second half, start to get on a bit of a roll. And in the first half, they were ever so slightly down. It was pretty much neck and neck. And if they start to get a second wind after being even in the first half, that is bad news for Team Viral. But here we go. Full buy coming out from these CTs. And it's going to be Team Viral with just a couple of Tech 9s and a Galil in some of their players' hands. Not an ideal situation. And with how aggressive the defense has been from FM, you know, that's kind of a scary scenario when you're running in with kind of underpowered weaponry to some extent. It's always going to be it's always going to be a tall ask, basically, from your team when you're trying to go into those aim battles.
Yeah, that's true. And right now as well, Nilzinho with the initial frags, he takes down Jacob. The rest of them will have to initiate off the back of it. They have to just sprint in towards the site. Ozzy will find one on towards HUDs G. Nilzinho in that elevated angle can't do too much either as he gets taken down by a Tech 9 of all weapons. Pulse is on the scene, but the AWP won't come into effect as Roma's just able to rip him apart from the sidelines. PT is the deck as well, and it falls on towards Boaster. A 1 versus 4 for the final man left standing. Will land the tag, but just realises it's already too late. Just opts to back off, just played from the close angle, wants to hold on to that weapon into the following round.
What just happened? Neilzinho got the opening frag. I was like, you know, they've got the weapon advantage. They found the first kill. This is in the bag for FM. Surely they managed to take this round, but out of nowhere, Viral just turn it on. But Boaster is not going down without a fight. Finds 2 extra kills for himself, and almost converts it into a third as well. Dream just about survives with his life, but Viral, they've got themselves back into the game. They're 1 round down still, but they've got a little bit of money to work with. And FM, I can't say the same for them, to be honest. 2,000, 3,000 on multiple players right now, and Viral, they've managed to take the advantage off of their opponents.
There you have it. Now as well, with those weapons in their hands, as you're saying, FM, not a lot left in the bank, so they had to skip on this round, just go with the eco, see if they could achieve anything. A very aggressive eco actually coming out. They're going to be pushing straight into the crosshairs of Predlin. Ozzy will find the initial frag that takes down Neilzinho. He's still trying to creep up. This short control working out well with the onslaught on towards the B bomb site. Everyone getting picked to shreds, and it falls on PT. 11 HP, Deagle in hand. Can't imagine he'll achieve too much. Even if he gets a frag, it'll be good. Just try and force out a rebuy off the back of Viral, but FM, that's the best case scenario. This round is basically already over, especially when you get double naded on 11 HP.
Yeah, when you're on 11 HP and you see them bounce on in, you just kind of say your prayers and hope that you can go to heaven, because that is going to be the end of that round. And again, we see these two teams on 11-11. This is such an even matchup between these two squads. I want to see this matchup again later in the tournament, or maybe in the group stages, because this has been absolutely sick to watch. And to be honest, a part of me deep down, as much as I'm meant to be completely impartial as a commentator, part of me deep down wants Team Viral to win, just so we get to see the full 3 games here. Preledent pushing on to that A site, will be able to find a kill for himself. He's got a bit of an advantage there, taking that A site. The rest of his team still on the other side of the map and trying to find their way over there right now. 3 CTs remaining, but 2 of them only with the Desert Eagles and none of them with armor.
I'm trying to hold their angles here as well. There's 2 Deagles in play and that 1 AK on towards Pulse. If they can find their frags, it might work out okay. Boasted the initial one off on towards Predlin, but everyone else is just going to hit the deck. It's horrific, to say the least. Boaster tapping away. 2 nice little shots, but couldn't quite connect the third on towards Ozzy and Viral. Looking like now they've started to get it on lockdown. The buy will come out for FM though, so it could spell a different story. And Pulse back on the AWP.
Ozzy surviving that fight at 1 HP as well, just to add insult to injury there. But already on 28 kills. We were talking about how last game there wasn't really any players that were just hard carrying the rest of the team. This game, completely different story. Ozzy is on 28. The next player on the server is on 19. He is on an absolute tear. 7 MVPs already. This guy is not going to let this game go easily. And FM seem to be honestly struggling to deal with him. But PT has found a kill to open things up onto Jacob. And now Pulse can't actually land the AWP shot. That's not what we're used to seeing from Pulse today. He's been on point basically every other situation we've seen him in.
Yeah, unfortunate for him there, but at least he didn't get picked off. He did receive a little bit of damage, but got away with his life, which is the main factor. So when they go for this play towards the A bomb site, he can still rotate over and aid the rest of his teammates as they try and batter their way in. But they need to get through Boaster as well. That frontline infantry here, as he holds close by. Hudge G, obviously, he's on the scene as well, but very low, 2 HP, could basically get picked off, and he will get taken down as well by Roma there from distance. Easy shot with the AK-47, so Boaster, all of this rides on him at this initial point of contact.
Certainly does, and that is going to be Boaster finding 1 for himself, but he can't turn it into anything more. 2 versus 2 now as Pulse arrives with AWP in hand. He's going to be looking to pop a couple of extra heads. Neilzinho's behind him, and he needs him to shut down that player. Does finally get the trade, but a little bit too late to save his ally. Isn't going to go for the AWP, interestingly. Just wants to keep that rifle in hand. Obviously, not confident in his AWPing ability here. But he's up against Ozzy. Ozzy has been the absolute star of the show here on Mirage. And he's looking to potentially end this round in style if he can just shut down Neilzinho. But Neilzinho with 39 HP, he's going to be looking for this aim battle. He's trying to find that terrorist player. He knows that he's going to be hiding off around this area. And he is going to spot him in the end, but Ozzy shuts him down with the AK and is going to take another round for Team Viral.
Such a shame there as well, obviously, as well. It's just that it's hard right now. There's been a few sort of shaky things here and there that have not allowed FM to actually close it down, and Viral have just been capitalised off the back of that. And this is where it's getting to the territory where Viral are going to have 14 rounds on the board before FM even have a chance to get another round. It's going to be horrific. The fast push towards the A-bomb site as well. Aussie has just been getting frag after frag, but they actually start to get shut down a little bit. Boaster and Pulse with a 2K. Before they themselves fall. Hudge G comes in with one of his own, takes down Dream. Just Nilzinho and Hudge G left standing with just these measly pistols up against the superior arsenal on Predlin and Jake M.
Yeah, and you bring up an interesting point there, because that's just P250s. That round should not be as close as it is. And you know, with this superior firepower in this controlled situation, you give the advantage fully to Team Viral. But when it's chaos like that, those pistols can easily find the headshots and can easily do the amount of work required to take those rounds. Jacob going to be able to finish things off onto Nilzinho. The P250 not going to be enough to take on those aim battles. And Team Viral, they're getting close to a third map right now. 14 rounds on the board already, 2 away from taking Mirage. It's their map pick, and it feels like they're right to take it. But FM Esports, they're going for a double AWP strategy. They are not going down without a fight, and they're looking to pull themselves back onto this map.
Yeah, this needs to be the game changer, though. There can be no more mistakes for FM, really. One more round secured by Viral, and they will at least have overtime banked no matter what happens. So FM, it's got to be now or never. We need to see them bounce back into the FM we saw previously on Dust 2 and their CT half. And this double up setup, as you were saying, could just be the thing they need to set that change in motion.
We'll see if that is going to be the case here. As Team Viral, nobody actually really finding anyone on either side right now, but Team Viral have taken complete control of the middle of the map. They've taken a bit of jungle as well, but it's going to be Pulse shutting down Jacob. Can't quite turn it into a second, though. And Team Viral managed to turn that into 2 kills for themselves. Only 1 AWP remaining. It's in the hands of Nilzinho. He refused to pick up the AWP in a previous situation. This time, he went for it by spending his own cash dollar. So I'm curious to see how he's going to be able to use that, to what effect he'll be able to pull that off. But Preladin is not messing around, and Hudz G is going to go down. 2 players remaining for FM, and it looks like Team Viral might just be able to make it to match point here.
Oh, Dream. Going to spy on Nilzinho as he goes for the rotate as well, so it falls on Boaster. His only goal is to hold on to that M4. He most likely will get away with it, but even then, it's looking shaky. Right now, this is where Viral into the following round, if they can close it out, going to be going through onto that third and final map, most likely at this point.
It certainly seems to be the case. 15-11, Team Viral. They've just got to finish the race now. They've done the marathon. They've done the legwork. Now, can they climb over that final hurdle and just finish this game off? Mag 7 in the hands of Nilzinho. PT with just a FAMAS. It's not a convincing buy from FM. They've lost rounds on more convincing buys this game. Team Viral, they just have to put this wounded animal out of its misery, but Pulse is not going down without a fight. It is going to be traded straight back across, though, and 2 for 2 so far. 3 versus 3 on the board as Hudz G finds them from behind, but he's not actually going to be able to land any shots. I think he did like 1 damage onto Jacob right there. And again, still on this 3 versus 3 scenario. Nilzinho finds one with a USB, finds his shots as well. Jacob should have had that kill, but he's not going to have it. And Hudz G gets one as well. What is going on right now? Suddenly Roma finds himself alone, and Viral, they're struggling to close it out.
Is this going to be it? Is it going to be that fairy tale story once again, FM? Can they bring it back for another overtime? Because this is just ridiculous. They are going to pick that one up. Hudz G actually grabs the AWP as well, which he can carry on over to give to Pulse.
Decent amount of money still for Team Viral. They can easily go for a rebuy here, but that might not be the case if they lose another round. And as you say, Pulse is going to have that AWP. He is going to be able to pick those heads off. And we've seen him do it to a magnificent standard here on this map. Dream is going to be the first one to fall here as Boaster finds one. Pulse chimes in as well. What a way to start the round. Team Viral I think maybe starting to panic a little bit. They're so close to victory. If they can just shut this round out, they will be able to move into a third map. But FM Esports, they are not going to allow that to happen if they can help it. Jacob getting tagged there by Pulse through the stairs. And then gets finished off by HUDG as well. This is some magnificent teamwork coming out of FM.
Really good from FM right now as HUDG is just back on a roll, dominating through everyone that comes into his aim as he takes them down. Roma goes down for the final man. HUDG back in the driving seat. And look at the cash left on the side of Team Viral as well. It's not fantastic. It's really been battered quite heavily, so they will have to go for these Tech 9s. FM Esports could secure themselves 14 rounds on the board here. They're getting close to being able to take it into that overtime.
They certainly are, and look at the utility that they've got to work with as well. FM are rich beyond their wildest dreams right now. Team Viral, they're going for the full Tech 9. Everybody's got some armor and a couple of flashbangs scattered here and there. Is it going to be enough, though? If they can find those headshots, Tech 9 can be worth more than a rifle sometimes. We'll see if they're going to be able to make that scenario, that dream, come true. It's certainly going to be a challenge for them. Aussie pushing on forwards. Boaster's waiting, though, and does tag him pretty heavily. But now they're well aware that this mid control is in favor of Viral. They can set up those positions accordingly.
Yeah, all of these angles on lockdown right now. Viral, blissfully unaware that every one of their positions are actually countered. If they try and go for this play, FM really should dominate quite heavily. But it's just a matter of time to see if that's how it's going to pan out. Viral as well. Even situations before where it's looked like it's been over and out, they've just been able to somehow rise up and really shut it down. They are going to go for that aggression towards the B-bomb site as well, tiptoeing out. Pulse is there with the AWP in hands, but coming up against those Tech 9's close range combat, it's going to be hard. Nilzinho will come in with the first frag though, takes one down. Wanted to get the second off on towards Aussie, but it didn't quite work out. Will hit the deck. Aussie still trying to keep it rolling now as well. Roma comes in with one on towards HUDG. Good stuff so far. The flank as well from Bredlin comes in, takes down two. Pulse with a sick flick, takes down Bredlin as it just falls on towards Aussie, and Pulse is going to be able to pick him off. 14 rounds on the board. FM Esports close to clutching it into overtime.
Pulse with the most ridiculous flick right there. The flank comes in, I think it was from Aussie, and Pulse just spins on his axis and takes his head clean off with the barrel of his gun. That was ridiculous stuff. And Viral, they are one lost round away from overtime right now. Disaster scenario. They were so close to just taking the map, but FM are not letting them get away with it, and Pulse himself seems like a force of nature when it comes to these clutch scenarios. He does not allow anything to get through. He's going to be holding apps here, but again, mid control has been taken by the terrorist side of Team Viral. But what are they going to be able to do with it? They've got to make something happen. PT is going to win the aim battle over towards Connector. Gets traded back, but 4 versus 4. And again, just mid in control of Team Viral, and the rest of the players of FM know exactly where they are.
Switched on. This is it though, FM. Can they pick this round up? Can they actually take this into overtime, or is this going to be going to a third map? It's all on the wire right now. And Boaster, as he tiptoes round, if Jacob doesn't have this angle cleared, he does have the AWP out. Just depends who actually goes for the first initial fake. Boaster does find it, takes down Jacob, gets himself into a better and better situation, but unfortunately, Aussie will trade it back, connects the headshot. Predlin as well. You'd imagine will be caught off guard here by HUDG as he spots him out. A nice headshot coming out from HUDG there as well, and it falls on towards Roma and Aussie, the last 2 men left standing, trying to find their way in towards that B-bomb site. 35 seconds left on the clock. Time is ticking away. 3 members left on the side of FM Esports.
Yeah, and we've got Nilzinho. He's got an AWP and he's got this angle covered. The charge comes across and he doesn't quite find his first shot. That's bad news for FM, but they've still got 2 more players and the rotation begins. The bomb is finally down, but the money isn't going to make a difference at this stage, and it's all about these fights. Aussie and Roma have their work cut out. They've got to find the headshots. There is no excuse, and Nilzinho finds 1 kill to start things off. HUDG chimes in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going into overtime. FM Esports pulling a blinder and bring themselves back into this game. I don't know what I'm witnessing right now, but FM refusing to be knocked out.
Yeah, FM not giving up, being able to fight their way back through. I mean, they've already done it once so far, taking Dust 2, 19-16, in the same fashion as this as well. So it's going to be crazy to see if this is how it goes once more. If FM can 2-0 this with both games being into overtime, what a series it would be. We're going to have to wait and find out as we jump into overtime there.
I've got to say, it feels like these players like Pulse, Aussie, and Hoods G as well, like, do they never run out of fuel? These guys just seem to be so consistently dominant. Like, the rest of the players, they kind of come in and out of how well they're doing throughout the games, but just consistent destruction coming out of these players round after round, and every single time they're in a 2 versus 1 or a 3 versus 1, you almost expect them to win it, which is just a scenario that should never really be the case.
They're all Priuses, mate. So obviously, you know, you've got the fuel for the bit when you're going along, so they never run out of fuel because half the time they're just using battery power.
They're hybrids, you see.
Yeah,
they run half on fuel and half on the power of dreams. But it is going to be, I think we've got a pause because one of the players actually nipped to the toilet.
Nice.
Can't say I blame him. They've been playing a fair while at this point, but here we go into overtime. What do you reckon, Jackie? Who's going to be able to take this one?
I think FM will actually be able to bring this one back now, because they don't have the issue of the economy actually restricting them, so they can have Pulse on the AWP straight away, especially when they get into that T-half. They never really had a situation where the economy favoured them, so Reese could never get the AWP out. He was always left with the M4 and the AK even, so it kind of limited their playstyle a little bit. Yeah. In OT, you've got that money though. It doesn't matter as much, so it's going to be interesting to see if that affects anything, or, you know, if it's going to be the same sort of storyline. But FM, I feel like we'll be able to take this one. Even though Viral, they've been looking dominant right now. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can actually keep on form here. You know, last overtime, it felt like FM just came out of nowhere after every single round being so close, neck and neck until overtime. Then FM just kind of 4-1'd up against Viral. We'll see whether they can do a similar thing here, but I know for a fact Aussie is not going to go down without a fight. 34 kills to that man in this, in the standard rounds of the game. He has been tearing things apart. And unfortunately, the rest of his team not necessarily stepping up to that same level. And it has meant that we are here tied 15-15. We're going to be going into overtime. And, you know, FM, they've got to be feeling pretty happy about this situation. This is their opponent's map pick. They're 1-0 up in this series. They won the last overtime. You know, in terms of morale and mentality and just kind of general outset going into this overtime, everything is in their favour.
It's true. And FM have been looking good as well. It seems like everyone started to come back into their own. And as we were saying with sort of the economy plot point, is they never really had sort of a stable economy to actually get the buys out they wanted. Now in OT it complements a lot more. There's a lot more they can actually bring to the table. So it should be a very close overtime. But I feel like FM as well, starting off on their CT half, is going to lead a lot more in their favour. So it's going to be cool to see.
Absolutely. Well, according to that guy's watch, it is in fact 2:30, which I'm not 100% sure is accurate. I think it's close to 11 o'clock. But I actually don't know what time it is, to be quite honest. So there's your fun facts about whether or not I know the time. It's 11:28. I've just been informed by production. And I don't even know what is going on.
Nice, man. That was good. I'm glad we've got the time locked down now. So for everyone at home who is interested, that's good. It's like, you know, that's how you like ruin a highlight clip, right, by the way? So every time there's going to be a massive play when someone gets a 4K, I just come in and just go, it's 12:30. So then that you can just never edit that out and it just ruins everything.
That'd be good. I think you should do that.
Just ruin your life for no reason.
That'd be fantastic. Well, here we go. The game is live once more. We're ready to jump on into this map once again as overtime kicks off. For the second time in this best of 3, FM took the advantage last time. We'll see if they can mirror that scenario here on Mirage up against Team Viral. It's all to play for here for Viral. They're close to being knocked into the lower bracket. Not a situation that they want to entertain, but it's one that FM might force them to.
Poster. He's done this a few times. He's very cheeky. He does like to bring this little ramp push to the table. It's worked out quite well in the past, but will it work out again? If he gets that initial frag, it could destabilise the entire operation they want to bring to the table here. But Jacob will best the Impulse as well. Caught off guard. Unfortunately, couldn't quite land the shot. Predlin will take him down. PT trapped in apartments here. As the rest of the A-bomb site has been flooded with Team Viral players. This is looking horrific. Nilzinho with his pistol out as well.
Yeah, nearly found the kill there. He does actually decide to go for the AWP at the end. A really nice little shot coming out from him, but unfortunately against two players, a single shot is not going to be enough, and Aussie finishing the round off there. Nice little headshot onto Hoods G. Viral starting this overtime off just right for them. And FM, unfortunately, the economy already starting to look dicey. If they lose this round as well, they could be in some serious trouble in this overtime. But they do still, you know, it is overtime. They can afford a second buy with some decent grenades, some armor. But up against the AKs, lack of helmet isn't going to be the end of the world. We'll see what they can pull off here. FM need to make something happen here. They can't afford to go 2 rounds down in overtime. Such a risky place to be in.
Pulse. I believe that is the smoke where it has the little gap at the top. Oh, he comes through with the shot anyway. Doesn't even matter. Takes down Predlin. Dream is going to find that frag back though. Hudge G with 2k of his own. Looking like they bounced back instantly. They were furious because of the result of that previous round. Roma struggling to find that frag on towards Hudge G. Will eventually be able to take him down in that aim battle there. The flashbangs go out, but there's Boaster coming into effect as well on towards Jake M. Roma now slipping his way in towards the bomb site, trying to be a little bit sneaky. Nilzinho is on the scene, the only one there. That bomb is nowhere near Roma as well. It's going to be such a hard task to even recover that. So Nils just needs to try and bide his time. Won't matter though. He'll rather go for the frag and land the headshot. 16-16.
And there we have it. FM even things up once more. And now, both teams going to be able to go for that full buy. Both teams going to be able to spend that extra $1 and grab themselves some nice weaponry to work with. M4s and AKs across the board, and then Pulse with his greasy mitts on that AWP. And we'll see what he's going to be able to do, where he's going to go with that one. Looks like he's heading over towards mid. He's going to be able to hold that angle and try and deny this mid control, which is kind of... I like this positioning from Pulse, because this has been the cornerstone of Team Viral's play, right? Getting control of mid. So if he can just hold this angle, if he could deny that, could be in for a fantastic round.
Yeah, Delpan's such a position as well that everyone sort of pushes towards early on in the round. So when you have it covered from short like that, if anyone gets into Delpan, if they try and peek or get out, you can always pick them off. So there's a really good angle to try and hold from, and it works quite well. We hadn't seen too much of it really coming out from Pulse though, so it's good. You could this as well though with Dream, where he's actually been able to slip right through undetected up through connector. This is actually a blind spot as well if you peek from mid here. So Dream's in a good spot.
Yeah, he certainly is, and if he can wait for the opportune moment to kind of ambush the defenders just as the rest of his team is pushing up Ramp and Palace, that could be what makes the difference in this round. But PT just waiting around this corner. He's going to see Roma, and he does get the spray, but Aussie trades it immediately. 3 versus 4. The defenders still with the advantage, but Poster's going to get shut down. Dream using that ambush to perfect effect, but Aussie is taken out, and that's the bomb down as well. Jacob over at Sandwich, and he is going to be able to win the aim battle in the end. One player over at CT, it's Nilzinho, but he gets shut down himself, and Pulse sneaking his way across the map. 20 seconds left, but the bomb is going to go down in the end. He gets his pistol out and gets full blinded. And it is going to be Team Viral with the advantage as we head into the second half of overtime.
Man, this is ridiculous. Just back and forth every time. Viral and FM right now just looking so evenly matched, which is crazy to see. Both of these teams definitely causing a stir. On Mirage as well, Viral's map pick, you'd assume they would have been dominating, but it's been so close. Only scary factor is Viral back on their CT half. They looked stronger on CT than they did on T. Only allowed FM to get 5 rounds originally when we went through. So it's going to be crazy to see if that happens once again, or if FM right now on their T half, with no restriction of cash, with Pulse being able to get that up straight away, if they're going to be able to just get that mid control and just batter their way through, or if Viral was still going to lock it down.
I think the first half was actually 8-7, wasn't it? It was still Viral advantage. Actually, yeah. It was 10-5 on the first map, and then I think it was 8-7 on this map. But you're right, Viral did have the advantage on the CT side. We'll see whether that's going to be the case again in overtime here. But, you know, this is a different... Whoa! Is that a Negev I see?
Did someone miss by?
I'm not sure. But
I think I think Predlin missport, but he's had to go with it anyway because you can't really afford to spend that extra cash now to buy an actual weapon. Oh man, if he gets kills with this, it's gonna be so BM.
Oh my god! I really want this to be on purpose. Here we go. Well, it's gonna be BT starting this round off. Prelidon just chilling out with his Negev. I want to see him mow down some players with the LMG. It would be just beautiful. But Jacob over towards mid, looking for an aim battle here, just out in the open. Does get shut down, punished for that one by PT, but Aussie trades it back onto Boaster. 3 versus 5. They still, 3 versus 4, sorry. Still haven't discovered the secret weapon over towards this A site. Prelidon chilling with 150 bullets ready to spray away at these terrorists. Oh god, if he just gets headshot at the start of this round, it's going to be such a painful thing to watch.
If he instant just headshots like HUDs as soon as he peeks, the level of tilt will be unreal. Everyone will just be so furious about what's just happened as we try and go into this, but we're going to have to wait and see. Predlin, obviously, the only man on defense on the A-bomb site. Luckily, Roma has rotated over. He can't find the frag. HUDG will take him down, which is for the best. Roma as well going to come in there. We'll be able to get that trade back out. It's a 2 versus 3 coming in from either side. If no one clears the rear, Aussie could cause a stir.
I feel, here we go, Aussie coming up from behind. The trigger patience. He's going to be able to get pulse and turns it into a second one as well. Aussie has been ridiculous this game, but Neilzinho finds himself in a 1 versus 1. Can he find the shot? Just needs to play time. If he can hide around this smoke and keep the bomb ticking, maybe he's got what it takes. But Aussie cancels the defuse in the end, and Neilzinho backs away once more. He's running out of time. Aussie on top of the boxes, and he will be able to finish off that player. I don't know if he has time for the defuse. I think he does, though. Defuse comes in. And Team Viral, despite the Negev buy, still managed to take an advantage.
That was such a weird round. I don't even...
P90 from Dream. What is going on in this game? I like the buy from Prelidon. I feel like it's the ultimate risk-reward strategy. It's like, if we lose this amount of money we've invested in this terrible weapon, then imagine like the tilt that you get just from spending that money. But if you get the kills with that terrible weapon, imagine the tilt you instill on your opponent. It's the ultimate
mind games. I mean, you would be furious. That FME Sports side, if you get into that OT where it's been such a close sort of game, you would just be like, why have they done this? Why did this need to happen?
Well, here we go. It is going to be Aussie on the scene over in Ladder Room. Is going to be able to get away with it. It's going to be Roma starting things off onto PT. Gets a second one as well as Aussie chimes in with 2 of his own. And suddenly this round is looking dire for FM Esports. Viral are just 1 kill away from taking this map and pushing us into a 3rd game in this best of 3. They are going to be able to do it. Prelidon finishes off the scoreline there. 19-16 for the 2nd game in a row. These 2 teams are as evenly matched as it gets at this stage, and we are going into a 3rd map. Ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be the UK scene if we weren't about to see cash between these 2 teams.
Yeah, man, we finally made it. We've gone the whole hog. Overtime in both games. Both games